Good evening. This is Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. As we come to you tonight, breaking news coming in from Tamil Nadu this evening. The IT department is raiding senior DMK leader Kanimozhi. Her house in Tuticorin is currently being raided by income tax officials who have landed up there saying that they are there to verify information that they have received that there is a lot of cash stashed on the first floor of her house. So raids at DMK leader Kanimozhi's house as we speak in Tamil Nadu. A big political story there breaking from Tamil Nadu. Kanimozhi becoming yet another opposition leader being raided by the income tax department. The opposition has been saying for some time now that these raids have been extremely unfair, that they have been one-sided. Not a single BJP or NDA leader has been raided in the last 5 years, and that the focus has solely been on opposition parties. And now comes this news of the raid on Kanimozhi. It's going to be important to see whether the IT department had looped the Election Commission in on this. If you remember, just some days ago, the Election Commission actually had to issue a letter saying that the IT department needed to be playing fair and needed to inform the EC in the middle of elections if it was carrying out any raid that was related to the polls. So did the IT department inform the EC? That is something we're going to be looking at closely. My colleague Uma Sudhir joining us with the latest on that big breaking story. Uma, what do we know so far? All right, I apologize. We don't have Uma's audio there, but just to bring you up to date on what we do know so far, that Kanimozhi, who's of course the daughter of the late DMK stalwart Mr. Karunanidhi and has been a member of parliament, she is currently being raided. Her home is currently being raided in Tamil Nadu by the income tax department. IT officials telling reporters that they had information about a huge stash of cash in her home on the first floor of her house. My colleague Sam Daniel now joining us from Chennai with more. Sam, what's the latest?
Well, the income tax officials don't call it a raid technically. They say the collector had received information from someone saying that the first floor of the house being used by DMK candidate for Tuticorin Kanimozhi has stashes of unaccounted cash, and based on that information, income tax officials along with election commission officials, the static surveillance team, have arrived at her house to verify whether the information they've got is true or not. So at the moment they're not calling it as raids, and a senior officer in the income tax income tax department told me that if they find any abnormal amounts of cash, then a search would follow, and technically they would do all the formalities required to count and to probe further. But at the moment they call it as a verification process following information, and this is a constituency where the BJP state president Tamilisai Soundararajan is Kanimozhi's key rival there. And a short while ago, MK Stalin, the DMK chief, has slammed the election commission, saying that BJP candidate Tamilisai Soundararajan has crores of money in her house. Why don't the election commission act on that? And another DMK spokesperson also has slammed the election commission, saying that the DMK had given videographic evidence showing how the AIADMK candidates groups have been distributing money in Theni and no action has been taken, and they call this action as a motivated action by the ruling BJP at the centre in collusion with the ruling AIADMK in Tamil Nadu. Nidhi, but the larger picture,
let me just get Uma Sudhir in on this as well, Sam.
This kind of
the IT department, Uma, calling it a verification, which seems to be a more polite way of saying that we're raiding her. But it seems that the election commission team is also there in this what is going on there along with the IT department. So they've obviously been kept in the loop on this time. Uma.
Yes, indeed. Local people telling us that at least 10 officials of the IT department, and now we understand probably EC team officials, are also at the residence of Kanimozhi. There's an office that's attached to the residence. This is in the Kurinji Nagar area of Tuticorin, where Kanimozhi in fact returned after having finished her campaigning this evening, and that's when the raid started. Stalin has reacted in Chennai, and he has said that Narendra Modi is using the election commission in order to malign and defame the DMK, he says, and he has in fact called this cancellation just earlier today of the elections in Vellore as a murder of democracy. So very, very strong language being used by the DMK chief, and he says that this raid, who has complained and on what basis was the raid conducted, that is not yet clear to him, but he has said that no one is being allowed to go in or come out, and therefore information they are not getting in from inside the house of Kanimozhi. But this is coming just a short while after the cancellation for the first time ever of a Lok Sabha election because of the seizure of cash, and even that several questions that the DMK is raising, saying that a lot of that money they say is unexplained, and they have no idea where it has come from. They are saying only about 10 lakh rupees was there, and subsequently all that other amount where it came from, they are in fact asking the Election Commission for answers. Back to you.
Right. Well, Arvind, my colleague here in Delhi, who's tracking the IT department, Arvind, what are they saying over here? We've already seen a run-in between the Income Tax Department just days earlier and the Election Commission on these repeated raids on opposition leaders in particular. What are IT officials saying here?
Nidhi, as per our information, we tried reaching out to the income tax officials. What we are hearing from our income tax officials in the headquarters is that based on a tip-off from the district collectorate, that is Tuticorin collector, the income tax team and also the surveillance team of the Tuticorin constituency was alerted. In fact, the expenditure observer of the Tuticorin constituency was also alerted by the district collectorate. Based upon this tip-off, the joint team of around 10 officials from income tax and also the state district administration, especially the election officials, also a joint team of around 10 officials went to the residence of Kanimozhi, who is now staying at a residence in Kurunchi in Tuticorin district, and the raids are currently underway. That's what our sources in the income tax say. They are not sure, they are not giving us any information regarding what is the seizure that they have seized as of now. As of now, they are saying that based on the tip-off, the operation is underway. They are not even giving us a clear picture. Is this a raid or is this a normal survey? But as of now, what we are hearing from our sources in the income tax department is that based on a tip-off, the operation is underway. They are searching the premises of Kanimozhi in Kurunji area in Tuticorin district. Based on upon this one seizure of other incriminating details, incriminating evidence from the residence, they would give us a clear picture on what is the exact seizure. Nidhi.
All right, quickly, just going back to Sam. Sam, you have the DMK spokesperson with you. What is he saying?
Yeah, sure.
That's right, Nidhi. I have Mr. A. Saravanan, the DMK spokesperson. Allegations of seizure of cash from the DMK candidate in Vellore. Now raids are also going on at the residence of Kanimozhi in Tuticorin. How does the party look at this?
See, the Election Commission is trying to play a sick joke on the DMK party and the people of Tamil Nadu. The raids that have taken place here was 15 days back, and no cash was seized from the residence of our leader, Mr. Duraimurugan. It was seized from another person, and that person has claimed that money. And after 15 days, on the last day, before the polls close, they have conducted this, they have cancelled the Vellore by-poll. This has created a huge wave in favor of us. The people are laughing at the Election Commission. We have seen in how Theni constituency, 1,000 rupee notes are thrown away at people. So many videos have surfaced on social media, but the Election Commission has not taken any action. And right now there is another raid going on at leader Madam Kanimozhi's house, and we are getting information that the state government is all out there to hound us. They have decided to plant cash there and take the cash.
Is this a sort of embarrassment to DMK?
It's not an embarrassment at all. That's what I'm saying. It's a joke. The people of Tamil Nadu will laugh at the Election Commission because the hundreds of crores are spent in every constituency by the ADMK party. We had seizures at a place called Sabesan's residence. 15 crores was seized. Another PKP, 15 crores was seized. What was the action?
Right.
And I want to make another point. When we speak about the Vellore constituency, it is Mr. A.C. Shanmugam who will feel crestfallen today because he had spent 100 crores of money.
Right.
He is the crestfallen man today, not the DMK, and this has created a big backlash against the BJP and the ADMK party.
Right. Thank you so much, Saravanan. So that's the View
Right.
from the DMK spokesperson is Saravanan Nidhi.
All right. Sam, thanks very much for that. The DMK calling this a sick joke by the Election Commission. We were gathering here tonight on this program to actually talk about the controversy surrounding the EC at a time when the opposition has claimed that it's not playing fair. Pawan Khera, national spokesperson of the Congress with us. Lalita Kumaramangalam, member of the BJP, is joining us tonight. Mr. O.P. Rawat, former Chief Election Commissioner, joining us from Bhopal. Smita Prakash, the editor of ANI, is with us. And Juhi Singh, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, also joining us tonight. My first question to you, Pawan Khera, as you watch these events unfold in Chennai. Let's first talk about in Tamil Nadu first. Yet another IT raid, yet another opposition leader targeted. Do you share the DMK's sort of anger on this against the EC?
Nidhi, in an unprecedented move, the EC last week wrote a letter to the Secretary Revenue, asking questions, asking tough questions, almost ordering him to share all the reasons of any raid done, and also actually expose the Secretary Revenue and the department that all these raids are indeed politically motivated. However, this was last week. After that, the Honorable Supreme Court has reminded the Election Commission of the quote-unquote reservoir of powers that the Commission has. I hope the Election Commission will intervene now and ensure that a party, which is a ruling party, a demoralized party, completely frustrated party, is resorting to these cheap tricks.
All right. Well, I want to get Mr. Rawat's sort of analysis of what is going on here. Mr. Rawat, you're hearing, your former organization, the Election Commission, getting a lot of flack these days by the opposition in particular, and the EC often coming, into the spotlight and making more headlines than the politicians themselves. But how do you react to these developments, sir? I mean, the fact that the Election Commission too felt the need to speak up about the way the Income Tax Department was conducting itself really tells you, about the state of affairs, doesn't it?
Actually, EC becomes a punching bag for all political parties when such high-pitch campaigns take place. But you can see that Election Commission has also been taking action, like this speeches of 4 leaders. They put a ban on them for a fixed period for campaigning. So that shows that EC is seized of the issues, EC is taking action, but dissatisfied political parties and candidates will always use EC for criticism.
But Mr. Rawat, can I ask you what the Election Commission can do in a situation where, for instance, it did raise a red flag about the way these income tax raids were happening only on opposition parties, and the Chief Election Commissioner told NDTV just yesterday that the reply they got from the Income Tax Department was a cheeky reply, which which the EC also responded to. So what more can the Election Commission do if it sees that or it believes that these are partisan raids that are taking place?
That is what prima facie appeared, and that's why Election Commission summoned the Revenue Secretary and sought clarifications from him. But what happens when any authority, or especially the constitutional authority, is coming under continuous criticism? Everybody feels that they can always be bullied. So from every corner it appears that Election Commission is under fire. Some delays have taken place, it appears, in taking action, maybe due to collection of facts and ground reports. But otherwise, I personally feel that EC has been taking action in all such cases.
Okay, you feel that the Election Commission is getting bullied from all sides. I know Pawan Khera has a view on that, and Pawan, I will come to you. I want to ask Lalita Kumaramangalam first about these particular raids to begin with, what is happening in Tamil Nadu against Kanimozhi. Ma'am, just a coincidence that yet another opposition leader is being raided today?
Look, if the EC has received a complaint from whoever it may be, in this case I'm told it's the collector, then it's their job to inquire into it, and that's what they're doing. Now, it seems very strange to me that till yesterday when the EC was acting against leaders from the BJP and other parties for making communally charged comments, etc., they were called very fair, they were doing their job, etc., etc. But today, because there have been 2 raids. I think one was even done a little earlier, and therefore one of the elections have been postponed. Suddenly the opposition says that the EC is bigoted, that they are being run by the BJP, etc., etc. Now the EC's job is to look into every complaint that it receives. If it hasn't done so, then yes, it is wrong. But as of now, I don't think you can blame the EC for doing their job. If cash has been found at somebody's house, or if the collector of a particular district says that there are reports that there are cash in a particular candidate's either office or house, or one of their supporters' houses, it's their job to look into it.
You're absolutely
so
right,
let's wait and see what the EC comes up with.
No, you're absolutely right, because on merit,
of course, it's always very easy to say that somebody else placed the cash in her house.
See, when the IT department or the election commission get a complaint about some illegal cash possibly being somewhere, they have to act on it. What is curious is that, you know, while this case or any other case that involves the opposition must be looked at on merit, you had a case just, 10 days ago in Arunachal Pradesh, where 1.8 crores in cash was found in the convoy of the BJP chief minister of the state. And there has been no report of an IT raid or an ED raid or a CBI raid or any raid on the chief minister or any of his aides in Arunachal. So that is why Juhi Singh, I'll bring you in on that. Is that why the opposition is saying that these are motivated, that they feel the institutions are working against them, or as Mr. Rawat says...
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I'm just taking that question to Juhi Singh of the Samajwadi Party.
Sorry, I'm not.
Mr. Rawat says that you all are also making the election commission a punching bag. You know, for every complaint that you have, it's the EC's fault. Is that fair?
Well, Mr. Rawat should be saying that he's been a CEC, but the election commission's job was to conduct these elections fairly, and the election commission allowed the entire atmosphere to get vitiated, and now they are pretending for their face saving to take some actions. And ma'am, nobody called election commission to be very fair. Who really got these complaints? The CEC got these complaints, or the IT department, or the district collector? And I think the CBDT is very well represented in the EC at the moment. So the revenue secretary is being called for an explanation as to why you are handing out these sort of selective rates. So of course the EC will come under fire, and the opposition parties will question them. Where are they imposing the model code of conduct? This is just one part.
Well, somewhere it's raining very heavily. I don't know where that rain is coming from. So it's like a bit like a Hindi movie right now, which is kind of the script that's playing out politically as well. But Smita Prakash, your first reaction to all these fast-paced developments. I mean, this just happened 5 minutes before we went on air. But how the way the EC is getting attacked by the opposition, the IT department, is it looking just a little one-sided the way these raids are happening?
None of this appears to be a coincidence. So, you know, I mean, when we are in the thick of elections, nothing is coincidence. So this raid also will come up. Obviously, there'll be a lot of scrutiny on this raid. And as your reporter pointed out, that there is a joint team. So which means that at present there's the EC team is there, and then there's the poll panel team. The IC income tax team, as well as the collector. So there'll be a whole bunch of people, and they will first verify, get a search warrant. After the search warrant has been obtained, then there is a formal raid as such that takes place to find the cash. First is the information that they need, act on the information, which is as you said, that they'll probably go to the first floor and ask whether the money is there or not. Then comes the search warrant. So there's a step-by-step thing there. Obviously the EC, knowing that, you know, there's so much focus on what is happening, they are part of this income tax raid come verification, or whatever you want to call that. So everything under mega focus, I feel, and rightly so, because as the Supreme Court said to the EC person that, you know, like, you seem to have suddenly decided or suddenly realized that you have power. So I think the way that they're going about this, if at all a raid has to be conducted, it should be under the full glare and under everybody's presence, which is the collector, which is the police, which is the income tax department, which is the EC official. Under everybody's glare should this be conducted, if at all there is a raid.
Pawan Khera, why were you disagreeing with what Mr. Rawat was saying earlier? Because he was saying that the EC has essentially become a punching bag. Look, at the end of the day, the election commission did act. Yesterday it acted against Mr. Adityanath, against Menaka Gandhi. It is acting.
It should have acted at the beginning of the day. That's my problem.
Chalo kar liya na.
Kab kiya? When the Honorable Supreme Court had to remind them. If, for instance, I'm talking about the narrative right now, if the Election Commission had raised red flags when the Prime Minister of India started talking about Wayanad majority, minority and so on and so forth. Or when Amit Shah started talking about when Amit Shah started talking about NRC, there was no reason to talk about NRC in the entire country. Why didn't the EC wake up then? It's Congress party and other opposition parties relentlessly kept knocking at the doors of the Election Commission. Finally, it was the Honorable Supreme Court which had to remind the Election Commission, please wake up, these are your powers.
No, but Mr. Rawat, I think one of the criticisms of the EC has been, for instance, and I just wanted you to weigh in on this. Yes, they have acted against senior leaders across political lines yesterday, but they do have a complaint of the Prime Minister sitting with them right now on the Prime Minister apparently violating the model code by asking for votes in the name of the soldiers killed in Pulwama, which is a clear violation of the Election Commission's own directive. Now, I think the question is, there is a perception that the EC is willing to act against some leaders, but not willing to censure the Prime Minister or Mr. Amit Shah.
I feel whatever perception is created, it should have been on the part of EC that they put all the facts in public domain. Like the delay in taking action against these 4 leaders. Whatever reports, the facts, the videos, etc. they sought may be delayed, and that's why their decision came late, and in the meanwhile the Honorable Supreme Court intervened. So on every such occasion, even this Arunachal case which was told just a few minutes back, that after 1.80 crore why not the person's house was raided. In all such matters, Election Commission should take upon themselves to put all the facts most promptly in public domain so that everyone is informed. Lastly, about the Prime Minister's case, whatever is happening, whatever progress has been made about ascertaining facts, about getting the videos or transcripts, etc., the Election Commission should be informing the people so that no such misperception is created in the minds of people.
Well, so clearly you admit, sir, that there is a misperception then, and Lalita Kumaramangalam, just to take this back to you, clearly, even the Chief Election Commissioner, when we spoke to him yesterday, said that yes, there is this perception about us which he feels is Delhi-centric, but that the onus is really on the EC then to dispel that no, it's not afraid of censuring the Prime Minister or senior functionaries or, holding the IT department to account for what it is doing. It certainly has attempted to do that, but, is it appearing that the EC is being entirely fair in this election, is the question.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hear the full part of your question, but I'll answer to, whatever I thought you asked me. Now, the fact is that the EC is not taking action just against one party or not against the BJP. Everybody is harping on the fact, why don't they take action against so-and-so, against so-and-so, against so-and-so. The EC, I think, is acting fairly equitably, and yes, the Supreme Court had said that the EC should start taking action, to which the EC has, after which it has jumped into action. So you can't have the cake and eat it too. Either they take action or they don't. Now that they have finally, and I used this word yesterday on another channel, woken up and are actually taking action, I don't think it's fair to find fault with them even now. As has been explained earlier, there is a whole process to this. When the EC receives a complaint, or rather when the IT authorities receive a complaint, during election time, when the code of conduct is in place, they have to keep the EC on board, and that was what is being done. In Vellore in Tamil Nadu, a lot of money was found. Now the DMK might try to explain it away, but that's a different question, and that is something that the EC will have to decide. Insofar as Kanimozhi's house being raided, they have reacted to a complaint that has come to them and the EC has been taken on board. So they are both, the process is now on way. Now let's see what comes out of it.
Well, let me ask, you raise a valid point about the money being found in Vellore.
Is being
absolutely
biased, is not being biased.
I want to ask Pawan Khera about that.
Nidhi, Namo TV. I want to give you the example of Namo TV. Why is it still on air? You want the Supreme Court to, every time there is a violation which goes unchecked by the Election Commission, you want the Supreme Court to intervene. Why is Namo TV still on? Even 2 minutes ago it was on.
No, it is still on.
It is still on.
Yeah.
So, you expect the Supreme Court to keep intervening, only then will the EC act?
The real issue is.
Nidhi, if I may just interject, at this stage, frankly, the Modi biopic or Namo TV is really not. I mean, I would think that the focus should be that a corruption-free election, a violence-free election should be the prime focus of the Election Commission. Right now, you know, yesterday in an interview to you, the EC said that the raids are non-discriminatory, impartial, and neutral. If that is the case, today he needs to come back and say that this raid which is happening in Kanimozhi's house, that is also non-discriminatory, that is also impartial, and that is also neutral. He needs to go on record to say that this is what is happening. So, you know, I mean, frankly, at this stage of our election, if we think that somebody said this about that person, that about this person, really it seems very inconsequential of who said what, rather than having a free and fair election.
When you say free and fair, Smita, you include all of this. How is it fair if Namo TV is allowed? Sorry, let me, I didn't interrupt.
I get it. I get it, Pawanji. What I'm trying to say is that when we are in the middle of the election, why not focus on what is absolutely imperative?
Exactly why we need to focus on all these aspects when we are in the middle of the election. I wish we didn't have to, but Modi ji, along with all the institutions that they have sabotaged, you have to be either loyal or lawyer. These are the two people, Amit Shah and Modi, they have ensured this. So we need to keep pointing out, we need to keep flagging these concerns, we need to keep knocking at the door of the Election Commission.
All right, guys, I have to take a break on that note, but clearly this is a story we'll keep a close eye on. It is a big development for Tamil Nadu's politics. Remember, Tamil Nadu is going to be voting on Thursday. Thank you, Mr. Rawat, for joining us. Thank you to Juhi Singh as well.